we're going to try this again because we recorded an entire review and then found out that Adobe crashes a lot.
Yay!
So, Winds of Winter, holy cow, this is the first time we're going to talk about this. Right off the bat in King's Landing, a bunch of stuff went down in this episode. We'll kind of go through it step by step. Joined once again with Real Reviews, Curtis Nash, Josh Gruber, myself, Darren Worts. And yeah, where do we start?
We start from the beginning.
That is true. The opening sequence, just the
musical montage.
The musical montage.
Of suspense.
The lack of talking from everybody and just like long, listful, unspoken silences staring off into the distance. It was probably one of the best intros that show's ever had.
Mm-hmm. It was very good. Suspenseful.
Right? And was
all the way up till they're crawling towards the...
Oh, yeah, little... forgot his name again. What was his...
Lancel.
What kind of guy forgets the names of the characters? That joke's only funny if you saw the last one.
Which nobody ever will because nothing recorded. So, yeah, that was really intense. Like, the little birds, all of those children, like a very ruthless stabbing of children on Grandmaster Pycelle.
Pulling out all these prison shanks. I was like, holy moly.
And I wasn't
Very Lord of the Flies.
Because right in the beginning of the episode, it shows this little girl like kind of whisper something to Pycelle when he's in bed with his hooker. And you're just kind of like, what's going on with this kid now all of a sudden? And then you find out like she's got this little legion of children that are apparently ready to kill and die for her.
Yeah. They did.
They did. They all blew up.
Jumped up like, ah!
Like I said previously, I feel that like we didn't need to kill him, like Grandmaster Pycelle with the whole stabbing thing. Like he could have been in the church. I feel that the more people in the church to be exploded, the better.
I think she wanted it. She wanted to scare him. I think before she killed him.
Probably.
Because I mean,
Lure him out.
Thanks to horror movies, children are the scariest thing in the world. So being stabbed to
Dead
death by
Wait till
dirty...
you have some. They're still scary.
I don't plan on it. I'm going to get a bunch of cats. But like that was crazy. Did not expect to see Marjorie die at all.
No.
That was sad.
Right?
The entire like house, like High Garden, like they're gone.
Totally.
Except for Grandma.
Yeah, just the Queen of Thorns
But
is
she
the
is
only
one
one
of
left.
the coolest ones.
She is.
When she was telling all of those Dornish
You shut your
assassins,
face.
she was like, do you have something to say? No, you don't. Shut up. You're stupid. Just
Your
keep
name
going
Brianna?
around.
That's stupid. Shut up.
So good.
What's your name? Ubo?
So that was probably one of the biggest moments. We crossed off that entire house, like you said. King Tommen went for a fly.
Yeah, hit first.
So long, good sir. That was a walk the plank.
Like we saw it coming, but like you said, we didn't. Well, we thought that he was gonna die some other way, like more tragically, like the other two siblings.
Like she would have accidentally forgotten Tommen would have been in the sept that exploded,
or he would have somehow got in there without her knowing.
Yeah,
but
he may be a pushover, but he was a nice Lannister.
He was,
and that's why he was weak and died.
Yeah, that's ultimately why he jumped
survive.
off, right? But it kind of shows Cersei like just kind of how far gone she is. Like
she's crazy.
She looks at her son and she's like, "Burn him, bury him where the sept used to be."
I said
who cares?
since they captured her and tortured her,
Yeah.
she's toast.
Yeah.
She's
Well, and that
there.
was
hardcore.
She's definitely a lot more hell hath no fury, like a woman scorned, kind of is Cersei in a nutshell. But like you said, I've completely forgot about that with Tommen and burying him. He didn't get buried with her other two kids.
Nope.
So does that mean that she was just like, you're weak? And like, I think
Probably.
I don't think so. I think she
was mad at them for jumping.
I think it's just gotten to a point where she's wanted the Iron Throne forever. For as long as like we've since season 1, right?
Yeah, totally.
Her kids. She was the mother, whatever, like the regent, whatever she, ruled.
Oh, the
for
Queen
kids.
Regent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like she's always wanted it. Now that she has it, you know.
Yeah, I know.
You're just Joey with an encyclopedia. You're just yeah.
It's like, wait, guys. Yeah, she was one of those regions.
But I do think that
She was a reject, I'm pretty sure.
I do think like that whole scene with Tommen and her just saying, "Burn them, get rid of them."
Yeah.
Time for me to sit on the throne. And like you said, the armor, the black, she looks hardcore.
So
and Jamie does not
her
look
brother
happy.
lover was not happy.
He was not happy. They gave a little exchange of looks. She gave her little Cersei smile, and Jamie, like, no emotion, was just, oh my God, what am I going to have
Like
to...
I said, it needs to be said that, Jamie killed the Mad King because the Mad King wanted to burn King's Landing.
Yep.
So he became the Kingslayer and she did exactly what he was trying to stop. So now I don't think they're going to be all lovey brother.
You can tell his character's getting fed up. Like he said before.
Oh, yeah.
When he's talking to Filch from Harry Potter, you know?
Professor Filch.
No, he was the caretaker.
Oh, yeah.
Come on,
Darren.
Whatever. But he's saying, like, all I have to do, I have to keep coming back here and saving you. I have to keep coming back here and doing this.
What good
You
is
just
are
blew
these
my
guys?
mind with Filch because was Filch's cat Sir Pounce?
Sir Pounce. Well, who's going to take care of Sir
Who's
Pounce?
going to take Tom's cat, Sir Pounce?
He probably ate it.
Filch is a great scene. Well, he ate his kids.
Oh.
There we go. Favorite part of the whole episode, the mask reveal.
back.
Did you call that a mask?
Yeah.
Or a layer? That's more like a layer.
No, it's one of the...
When I think of a mask, I think of like a string.
Well, that'd be a pretty crappy assassin group if she just had like a tied-on crappy mask.
Bald head, like long black hair. You don't know who I am. How did you discover me?
How did you know I was Arya? No, that was literally, I was sitting in my room like this, just like, oh my, I did not expect it. I was just like, okay, like everyone's just kind of perving on this good-looking waitress here, and you didn't think anything of it. And then right at the end, just it comes off, and then I saw Arya's hair design from the back, and I was like, she's there already? Like, how much time has passed? How far is Westeros from Bravos, honestly?
Well, and we talked about that. We were like, okay, she's not coming over till next season. Yeah. All of a sudden...
Her thing was done?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you have old Filch. I get my sons in here. Oh, they're already here. And I knew right away. I was like, they're in the pie. They're in the pie.
They're in the
pie.
But
as soon as she did the face thing, like you said, that's the moment. I was just like, ugh.
That's when I got back on the Arya train, because I was off it.
Well, because I just
she does a little speech.
Because she always had her list, and she wanted to cross people off, and then she straight up Scott Tenorman's the family and puts them inside of the cage.
How's your chili?
Oh, you salted tears, they taste like the seed. Yeah.
Let me lick
But like that was, I hope that paints, because like what, she's probably like 14 in the show technically. She's like 22 in real life.
Yeah, which was really surprising to me.
So it's like, man, like girl, you got dark there all of a sudden.
But like, and you know, is she just going around chopping faces off, or
is she crossing the list?
Deeds?
Yeah, I guess.
Like, there's no way she's taking.
She doesn't kill the good people though.
Jack and Hygar's not like, oh, take a few masks. You're turning your back.
Packs her of doggy bag of faces
on the faceless god. Like she's taking faces on the street.
She's straight up like blading it. Like, oh, I only drink blood from the criminals.
She would have to be though, because Arya's not a bad person. Like she didn't want to kill that actress because she was like, oh, why would I kill her? She's a good person.
Right.
So
I think that's why she kind of got out of the whole biz.
But then she wouldn't leave that and then go out and start killing people. I think she was just killing like miscreants and people that were no good and taking their face. Although the lady that she turned into didn't look like she was a bad person.
No.
You don't know that, man.
That's true. Look at
She
Cersei.
could have dealt drugs to kids.
Drugs back in the day.
Think about that.
She works for Walter White. Then from there, the King in the North.
King of the North.
Basically giving us season 3 Robb Stark all over again. Lyanna Mormont, I can never remember her name, but never had an acting job before Game of Thrones, and she was probably even better than Jon. Jon just stood there and was just like, yeah, you tell me about how great I am.
She really just delivers this speech.
She gave an Aragorn speech, Return to the King style.
She should have came through
Frodo! That's what I said
through
if
the
I
double
would have
doors.
happened.
Like when he returns, the Return of the King just opens those double doors. I make a point of entering every room like Aragorn
But
does.
like, it's funny because I don't think... Like, obviously, she was born when Robb Stark died. But she's not old enough to really... She called out everybody's BS and was just like, you are chump, you don't remember.
Right.
Calls out all the bannermen, and then here's this, 12-year-old, 13-year-old kid, and they're like, okay, we just got called out.
And then Buddy gets up and he walks over. He's just like, we've been with the Starks for 1,000 years, and we'll be for 1,000 more.
Funny how you remember that.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
After...
Little Mormont starts giving me shit. But that was an incredible part of the episode. And just like, I had the goosebumps, the feels, just sitting there just like, wow. But then you have Littlefinger trying to get under Sansa's skin and manipulate her. So what's going to go on with that now?
Skin. That's what she's trying to get under.
Trying to get under them sheets.
Yeah, they kind of have a moment where, he says... I want the Iron Throne, and I will be on it, and you should be my queen. And she's like,
I'll be on it, and you should be on me.
She's like, well, that's a good dream, but, you seem to kind of side with whatever house.
But I think at that time she's
thinking,
thinking, this is my kingdom now. Maybe I don't need Littlefinger. And then everybody's like,
proclaims Jon
Jon's
king.
a man, Jon's a man. She's like, Jon, Come on, man.
Yeah,
Queens aren't that often in Westeros, though, and that's the
But
thing.
look
Like,
at it.
she's still probably like a 17-year-old girl, and she has no war experience. And then there's Jon frickin' Snow, who's killed White Walkers, who's done all of this incredible stuff, defended the wall against wildlings, come back from the dead. I don't care if your last name is Stark, Sansa. Jon Snow is the leader, but that's going to cause a rift. I think that she's going to do something, betray him, or give away his battle strategy to somebody. I'd be so pissed if she went back to the Lannisters and became like Cersei's little minion.
No.
I don't think we'll see that, and I hope that...
There's too much hate.
I think there's going to be that rift, because through the entire series, she's never liked him. He's the bastard.
That's true.
And
that's true.
She never liked him, so this entire season where they're kind of chummy, I get it. Like, she didn't think she was going to ever see anybody again. Same with him. But I think those feelings are going to bubble up, and now that he's king and she's not really anything.
They're going to have the perfect plan to win, and then she's just going to
screw it all up.
But
somehow.
I do want to mention one thing real quick. All the kings are gone. Everybody that's ruling Westeros right now are queens. You have Daenerys, you have the Greyjoy queen, you have Cersei. Well,
at one point,
but that's what I mean. Like,
awesome,
it's also on it's all the ladies that are kind of shifting to get all this power.
true.
So Jon kind of stands out.
Man.
I gotta get with the
That's
time.
right.
2016.
Westeros has women in charge. We haven't even had a female president yet. Yet. Don't want one at the rate that's good. And then we got to see Sam basically wet his pants walking into the Maester school.
Library.
Yeah, got to see that.
Pointless.
He's going to discover something that's going to be...
entire season.
He's not going to do anything, but he's the academic. So what's going to happen is they're going to be like, why can't we do this? And then Sam's going to come running in with like toilet paper stuck to his shoe.
It's right here. You can't do it.
These Maester fall here, sir.
But I mean, he was the one who discovered the obsidian
Yep.
to kill the White Walkers. Like,
His brain is a necessity, but Sam himself isn't needed.
he has that wicked sword now.
But people
I
like
want
him.
him to just be awesome.
And it's Valerian steel.
He's the nice guy picked on. Of course you want. He's Rudy, man.
Rudy, get him out there, coach. Put him in.
And
He's Neville Longbottom. Let's go back there.
Neville, the board. And then we ended just like we called it. Daenerys was the final scene in the episode again for like 6 years in a row.
It says sailing towards
Westeros,
was
which
a
is
necessity. Her little, I don't care if you love me.
Yeah.
You stay here for 10 minutes.
But
Who
like
cares?
last season or last episode, they're like, we don't have enough boats. And all of a sudden, this episode, the fleet's complete.
It looked like that scene in Troy where there was like
happened?
1,000 ships making their way down.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so that's exciting. She's finally going there, and that's obviously now the next couple seasons are going to be the Game of Thrones.
But it's interesting to point out too that it's not just Daenerys, Tyrion. You have the Dothraki.
Yep.
You have the Unsullied.
Yep.
You now have the Tyrells.
Greyjoys.
You have the Greyjoys, and you have Dorne.
Yep.
So you have 5
Which
houses.
is-
It's
So does
massive.
evil Uncle Greyjoy join the Starks?
No, but the Starks wouldn't take him because he's
Yeah.
but they do hate
They
the
might
Greyjoys.
have to.
They hate the
They could barely
Greyjoys.
beat the other bastard.
But my
How they gonna
thing
beat
is,
their army.
how isn't this going to be over episode 1, season 7? Daenerys has an army of like 100,000 strong. I don't think the Lannister army is that big because they were just fighting a war.
Yeah.
Even Jon's army, I don't think is that big anymore. Even though those guys joined after the fact they were in that last battle, I still don't think it's that big.
And I just don't know how it's going to... Something's going to happen, a hiccup's going to happen that has to obviously delay that for 2 more seasons.
It's called the evil redhead.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, because where is Melisandre going? I forgot that Davos was just like, either she goes or I go. And Jon, being the boss, kicked her out.
Maybe she lets the White Walkers in.
Ooh.
I hope that there is some
I
sort
finally
of
got one.
conclusion like to that, because there's so many side stories that are just kind of forgotten about, like the Lightning Lord. So there's the Theros of Myr, like he's a red priest. You have Melisandre. You have
Maybe
all
they'll
these
be.
red priests and priestesses.
Well, she'll go
And
back and join them.
They bring they bring a character back to life, and then that's it. Like it's really something has to happen with this
Well, that's what I said.
with the Lord of
maybe
Light.
The Lord of Light
though.
has to have a point, and he has to be something concrete because they focus on the Lord of Light more than they do any the Drowned God, the Seven, anything.
Yeah, for sure.
So he has to be something pertinent to the story, which is again why I think Bran is all the gods, right? Could be an interesting thing. Or the Starks are 7 Starks, 7 gods.
Arya is the no face.
right? You got the mother, that's Catelyn.
Yeah.
If you go through it, each of the 7 gods
Which
has...
one was Catelyn again? I know that
Lady
one.
Stoneheart.
I know that one. Whoa.
Deep cuts. So that'll happen. So now going forward, what do you think we're going to see in follow-up seasons? I have a theory that makes me geek out that the Night's King is going to form an allegiance with Cersei, and she's going to become the Night's Queen.
That's a good thing.
That would be
And
dynamite.
she's going to lead the White Walker army again, and that's how she'll get the numbers to battle the huge army that Daenerys has.
Oh, that would be
And Jaime's going to turn on
epic.
her.
Yep.
Because deep
Oh,
down,
and kill her.
deep,
Oh,
deep.
Jamie has
And
to
he'll say
kill her.
something like this. He'll pull her back and be like, "This is for our children." With a flaming sword.
This is the
though.
deepest
He's
I've
never
ever
really
been
cared.
inside you. And just stabs her with a knife. Because they really were playing up how much Jaime loves Cersei and vice versa. Even she's sitting there when she's basically crap talking that priestess woman, when she's just like, confess.
I think as much as we see
Confess to the
Jaime,
mountain.
I think as much as we want Jaime to kill Cersei, I think Jaime won't live. And I think it'll be Tyrion that kills Cersei. It'll be
Jaime's gonna be on the
Tyrion.
brink. He's not going to do it. And I said, Brianna Tarth's going to run. And just be like, oh, God.
I do think it'll be Tyrion because Tyrion and Cersei
he'd be a
from
good
day
one, too.
one.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and if it does play out that Tyrion is part Targaryen,
Yeah.
I want to see
I
his
think
chandelier
Tyrion
dive.
just will just be so happy
Tyrion.
about it, you know?
I think so. I do predict it's gonna be Daenerys, Jon, and Tyrion riding dragons. 100%. Because why do you think they're the one dragon is really small, which would be perfect for an imp, and
So
then
they all have the same father. Is that what you're thinking?
No.
well, no, technically,
Could they?
yeah, because it would be
No,
both
Jon's
Tyrion
fathered,
and Jon are bastard children.
but Jon is fathered by Rhaegar, and then Tyrion and
Do you know that
Daenerys.
for sure?
Well, we saw it in this one, like
Yeah,
the,
well,
the
yeah,
flashback,
we know that's
right?
Rhaegar.
But it would be Tyrion and Daenerys that are brother and sister from the Mad King.
Yeah, that's true. Because
So-
Viserys would have been as old as Tyrion, roughly, right?
Right.
Yeah, so I can see that.
Yeah.
That lines up.
I agree.
What you gents said
That blank
sounds
look.
good. But those are kind of our theories. Any other things that you think might be happening in the next 2 seasons?
Next season is going to be a little droll, I think.
Part
Story
one,
time?
Hollywood.
It's a
Pushing
build
things,
up. It's
yeah.
a build up. You're going to get that. The season finale, next season finale is going to be. This is
Let's
the
rock and
S
roll.
is going to hit the fan.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying is, and then the last season is just going to be oh.
All out war.
Yeah.
And that's what it's got to be. That's like when I waited through 8 Harry Potter movies to finally see wizard battles happen at Hogwarts. This
Yeah.
is going to be Game of Thrones. It's going to be 8 years of Game of Thrones for dragons fighting ice monsters.
Obviously, we have the main story that we know we're going to see, but I
Yeah.
really hope that the smaller stories kind of deliver and follow up.
I think
You know?
the smaller stories, I think, were there to drive plot points forward, and I think Sam's gonna die, Gilly's gonna die, everybody who doesn't matter is just gonna die. Yeah, you're so sad,
They
Sam.
matter to me.
It's tough to talk about the smaller stories on the show because, I mean, you can't cover everything on the
No.
show, right? So I think, obviously, that stuff will get delivered in the books for the show.
When they come out
It's
in
tough because-
2074.
It's tough because the
is
show,
why I
like,
don't
even though
read
they
Game of Thrones.
introduced certain stories and certain plot points,
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling they're gonna go unresolved or they're just gonna go forgotten.
Yeah.
And I mean, it sucks for you because
Oh, I don't
you
care.
can't read. So,
I read good and stuff.
Tio Honey BR.
Honey bear? The horny BR.
I think you said horny bear.
The horny bear.
Horny bear.
But I hope all the little stuff. That's kind of my wish because we know the big stuff's gonna happen.
I would like it to get wrapped up in a little bow, but I wouldn't mind if like some things spill out
Is
on the
there
sides.
such a thing as a perfect series finale?
No,
for
and that's
sure
100%
not.
true.
And because it's Game of Thrones, I have a feeling
George R.
the
R.
worst
Martin.
possible outcome will be what we get.
They'll be like,
is what we get.
George, we need something here. We don't know how it's going to end. He's
It's
like,
not
"Let me
going to
see."
end on a high
Oh, I
note.
rolled over in my bed. Oh, okay. I added a period to this sentence. We'll see you guys in a week.
Everybody dies, but Littlefinger wins, by the way.
Blah, 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 blah. Fill in the blanks.
Give me my
Boyd
money,
Wednesday.
and I'm rich.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so what do you think? Do you agree with the things we've been babbling on about for the past 20 minutes, or do you disagree? Follow them on Facebook, Twitter. What's your Twitter and everything handles?
Real Reviews 00.
Easy.
That's 00.
Like the zeros and tens, but beside each other. And you can also subscribe to their YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, Darren On Air and VO. Follow me on Twitter at OnAirDarren, and let us know in the comments. Do you agree with us, disagree with us? Do you think crazy things are happening in the future? What are your predictions? Join us in the conversation, and let's nerd out together.